Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. And before I start this lesson, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Once again, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, who the world ignorantly calls God in Jesus Christ. All right, I'm the brother Tazima Kamath from the Camp Company of Prophets here in Temple, Florida. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teaches truth and Ruel. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. Okay. And we're entering into a time of 2nd Ezra 16, Joel, the 3rd chapter. And ultimately, we're in the brink of war. Okay. We're at the brink of World War III rising up to occasion. All right. At any given moment, it's going to pop off. All right. Because the MOTB and the digital ID is being broadcasted more and more. It's getting more, I should say, more convenient for the people. It's being pushed at an all-time high because Yahweh Shem Shai is the one that's orchestrating it. All right, these are the final prophecies that have to come to pass for Yahweh Shai to return. Okay, so I have this video from Steve Ram. It says breaking World War III fears spark emergency draft. All right. Come on, man. The title speaks for itself. The title speaks for itself. And, you know, as the time goes by, Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna sift, all right, and send people to the Middle East to ultimately to get destroyed. And right, and you see a lot of people, they want to enter into the military. And it's all from Yahweh Shem Shai ultimately. All right, it's all stemming from Yahweh Shem Shai to send you out there, because ultimately you're gonna go out there to fight against the Lord, the demon-like power, Al Shadia, okay, the Creator ultimately, okay. So let's play a little bit of this video, all right. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Actually, let's open up with a scripture. Let's go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Because ultimately, when you see all these things happening, emergency draft, all right, World War III being talked about. Let's actually go to Revelation 11. All right, this is just showing you the time that we in, the era that we in. We in the era of war. And this will be the last war that's going to come to pass to end all wars. Because this war is going to be fought with nuclear missiles, with fire. This Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Okay? The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, and the second woe was World War II. And the third woe cometh quickly, that's World War III. And we can see that it's coming very quick. Very, very quick. Quicker than ever. Okay, because we're entering that time of that MOTB. And as the MOTB gets more and more that spotlight, all right, while Esau's pushing it at a high degree and we're breaking it down, telling you what it is, World War III is going to be shown more. Okay, World War III is going to be shown even more and more. Okay, so let's jump to Joel, the 3rd chapter. That's Joel 3. Let's start verse 1. It says, behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh. Okay? And the valley of Yahweh will be in the Middle East. Okay? You know, Saudi Arabia, that part. Okay? Is going to be in that area. That all desert land. All these nations going to gather together to fight there. And the Lord is already, brewing things up. Iran with Israel, Ukraine with Russia, Taiwan with China. So this is all going to stem down to the big countries and with the small ones as well. I also will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh and will plead with them. All right, when you go into this word plead, it means to judge. So the Lord is ultimately going to bring you there to judge you. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right, so let's jump into this video. I want to get at least 3 minutes of it. He goes into these articles, and I got about 3 of them. I feel like that's the most edifying according to the lesson. Okay, and when you go into these comments, all right, you see how much fear these people have. When you read a couple of these, it's just crazy, man. These people have no idea what the Lord is doing in the background. And I was to say that these SNAP benefits, now the government opened back up Trump opened back up the government. You see how it was just a psyop, which means a psychological warfare among the minds of the people. Now people are all comfortable. You see, when peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh. That's why you never trust thy devil. Never trust thy enemy. Because this enemy is going to do something that's going to be far beyond your mind. And guess what he was doing? There was a whole bunch of World War III talks, emergency draft. All right, so when you read a little bit of these comments, it says, when all else fails, they take you to war. Can you imagine drafting 18 to 20-year-old Americans? The generation that needs safe spaces, good luck with that. They would not be doing an emergency draft now for 2029. They know something. Come on. In this divided country, a draft will be a disaster. Half wouldn't show up. Come on. So, you see what's going on. So let's play.
So a lot developing in the last 24 hours regarding concerns of World War III, and we're hearing an emergency draft has been initiated. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. I'm going to be covering all the details of what has been going on here. World War III fears spark emergency conscription for all 18-year-olds in Germany. Here's another one coming out. Report for duty. Every 18-year-old man called up for military tests. An emergency conscription measure announced in Germany amid World War III fears. It comes as major European players also ramp up conscription efforts. And everybody is asking the question, is there going to be a draft in the United States? If World War III erupts, these are the first U.S. citizens who would get drafted and go to battle. And let me know your thoughts. Do you think that we're going to need a draft here in the United States? Let me know your thoughts. We're hearing that
There will be a draft. Because that's how the Lord is going to judge a lot of our people as well. By sending them to fight in the midst of battle. Don't know what the fuck going on, what's happening. All right, that's how the Lord finna get some of these YNs too. All right, your ass gonna be sent with a helmet, rifle, and a parachute, and sent to war zone. All right, you're gonna drop from a plane. All right, war zone. The Lord to be feared.
This is being initiated right now in an emergency effort to keep up with potential World War III coming, is what we're hearing. And take a look at this. Warnings coming out to the United States and to the world here. Putin's Russia is preparing for a big war soon, Ukraine warns. And what they're saying is, let me know your thoughts on this. They are saying that they believe that Putin is ready to escalate to a major war, but he is waiting essentially for Donald Trump to get out of office. And that in the year 2029 or the year 2030, there is going to be a major war and that our adversaries will go all out. Do you think that's a possibility?
And through spirit speculation, I don't see us being here until 2030. If that's the case, then all well. But how things are moving in the world, how things are moving in the spirit, I don't see that happening. I see that happening during his term and the 4-year term that he has. And look what he done, not even in the first year. All right, this Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay? So this war that we're going to enter into is going to be with fire, bloodshed, of missiles. Bro, just look at Gaza before and after. That just shows you everything. This war is going to be shot with missiles, airstrikes, bombs, tanks, nukes. All right? It's not going to be up close spears and swords. Nah. All right?
If you think so, put yes. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. But we'd even heard this warning coming out from the FBI for quite some time with China and Taiwan. China, they said, has prepared to attack Taiwan by the year 2027, which now is only about 1 year away. And they're saying, but the Trump effect might hold them off. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But let's take a look at some more headlines here. As you can see, in addition to those warnings coming out, the Putin ally, he has issued, just in the last 24 hours, a nuclear warning to the United States. Yet again, we're getting all these nuclear warnings coming out from Russia. They're posturing against the United States. They say Russia will respond if the United States begins nuclear testing. In addition to that, speaking of China, we are hearing in the last 24 hours, China threatens Japan with a military attack as World War III fears spiral out of control. Left and right, we are hearing that there are threats and controversy around the world. World on the brink after China threatens to attack Japan as World War III fears explode. Some more tensions arising. And take a look at this. It's being confirmed. China's Area 51 satellite images spark World War III fears as China is brewing, and it is not Tsingtao. And also take a look. Russia vows to fully act as the U.S. sends warships to Venezuela, sparking new World War III fears. So many players getting involved here left and right. We are hearing that things are escalating significantly. Now, let me know your thoughts. Are we going to be entering into World War III here very soon? If you think so, drop WW.
All right. And that's the main point. Okay. So let's go into the articles. All right. When you actually dive into the article, it said if World War III erupts, these are the first U.S. citizens who will get drafted and go to battle. All right. When you jump down in this article around right here, it says, if that were to come to pass, the U.S. may need to call on more of its citizens to fight than currently serve in the various branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. The U.S. haven't had a draft since January 1973, but the nation's men are required by law to be registered for selective service in the event of a national emergency. All right, it says those who the United States would draft first if there were a war, nearly all male U.S. citizens and male immigrants. All right. Hey, and this is why they also, during the time of Biden, they let all the migrants come in. All right. They let all these migrants come in because they're gonna need people. All right. The Lord is strategic in the way he does things. It says, regardless of immigration status, okay, it says, are required under federal law to register for selective service within 30 days of turning age 18. Late registrations are allowed until a man reaches his 26th birthday, but failure to do so is considered a felony and can result in penalties. All right. Now here are the penalties. $250,000 or 5 years imprisonment. And this is why the Lord told us in Revelation, the 2nd chapter. Let's actually go to it. Revelation 2 and 10. In Revelation 2 and 10, the Lord said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Which 10 days just mean a completion number. Complete number of days. Okay, it says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Hey, so, man, well, look, the Lord is going to protect his elect. Regardless. There's nothing that we're going to be afraid of. But, hey, the Lord pull up. Hey, the Lord got Esau pulling out the draft. He going to, hey, man, we ain't finna fucking go. Throw us in the prison. All right? We ain't finna fight against Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You stupid. All right? And the Lord know how to do things, man. So it's nothing that we're going to have to fear anyway, but it's going to be part of our testimony. Okay? So let's go back. It says, ineligible for state-based student loans. All right. Right here. In the event of a national emergency, the nation could call upon those registered to fill the ranks of the U.S. Armed Forces through conception, normally called a draft. In order for that to happen, the first step will be a draft authorization. This will require Congress to amend the Military Selective Service Act to authorize the president to induct personnel into the armed forces. Next, the selective service system will be activated and all service personnel will be ordered to report for duty. Reserve Force officers, along with selective military retirees, begin to open area offices to accept registrant claims. All right. So it says step 3 will be the lottery, which is the random drawings of birthdays and numbers, establishes the sequence in which individuals receive orders to report for induction. The lottery will be publicly attended, nationally televised, and live streamed. The first to receive induction orders are those whose 20th birthday falls during the year of the lottery. It says, states the sequence of events for the selective service. If additional lotteries were needed, the sequence will begin with those who during that year turn 21 and then go progressively higher in age until 25. All right, so, hey, as you read on, it tells you about the draft. And what does it say in 216 chapter? Okay. When you jump down to, let's see. When you jump down around here. 2 Ezra 16 and 33. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay, and why is that? Because they're going to be sent out in a draft to war, World War III. So these women, they're going to be left with no man, because their man going to be sent out in a war, fighting against Yahweh Shem Yahshai to ultimately get destroyed by Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And there's nothing they could do. And guess what? Women going to seek out for protection. So the Lord know what he doing, man. Okay? The Lord gonna send out mass judgment on a grand scale. And the fact that, all these things are happening shows you that the time that we in, it's not a time for, you know, laughing and playing. This real time, this real life. Because it's happening in our time. This is Joel 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Okay, so we show you this article. So let's go to the Germany one. Report for duty. Every 18-year-old man called up for a military test and emergency conscription measure announced in Germany amid World War III fears. Okay? And when you watch this video right here, this should put you in fear, bro. These are 18-year-old Germans, all right, which is part of the NATO and the EU. But they know that war is here. And when you see this video, it makes you think about people in America, 18-year-olds, 17, 19, 20. All right? They need all the help they can get. And ultimately it's just judgment, bro. Look at this shit. They're willing to risk their life for their country and ultimately to fight against Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Look how much judgment the Lord is about to bring, bro. The Lord is so dramatic. All right? He's an instigator. He's the greatest instigator, greatest dramatic, man. All right? He wants all the fucking smoke, man. That's what the Lord is saying. He wants all the fucking smoke. Bring everybody you could fucking get. Okay? I don't give a fuck how old they is. All right? And that's how the Lord is talking, bro. Bring all the fucking smoke. Bring all these people are going to get judged, bro. Esau going to get judged. Jake going to get judged. All right? So you see, Berlin plans to ramp up its number of reserves by training thousands of young men every year as the looming threat of all-out war hangs over Europe. Look at this. These are 18-year-olds, bro. They're willing to die for their country. And Lord literally got them on that. If they Esau, all right. If they are Esau, Edom, look what the Lord got them going. Yeah, you're going to come fight against me. All right. That's what's going to come to America. We know that for sure. Ain't nothing. We got to, what is this, man? Damn, where's the article I had? Is it this one? Okay. So this is the other article. It says China threatens Japan with military attack as World War III fears spiral out of control. It says China has issued a veiled military threat to Japan, warning that any attempt by Tokyo to interfere in the Taiwan issue will be met with military response. Okay? Come on. So we in that time, bro, of all-out force. Okay? If there are battleships and the use of force, no matter how you think about it, it could constitute to a survival-threatening situation. She stated during parliamentary questioning, it comes after a chilling map pinpointed the 10 safest nations to flee during a nuclear World War III. Come on, nukes are coming, bro. This is an all-out war that's going to end all wars. Okay? An all-out war to end all wars. Verse 11. Let's go to Joel 3 and 11. Well, verse 10, let's read this again. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay? So this is how the Lord is going to destroy, all these heathens and gain all the crowns by destroying these nations. So a draft is coming to America because war is at the door. All right. Hey, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. Till next time I say Shalom.